Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Hey, and welcome to our Arrow After Show here on our YouTube channel. Thanks for joining us. My name is John Campea, and we're here to discuss the new Arrow Season 2, Episode 21. Does anybody know what the name of this episode was?
Cold Blood, I think.
Cold Blood?
City of Blood.
Oh, City of Blood.
City of Blood,
yeah.
that makes sense. City of Blood, Season 2, Episode number 21. My name is John Campea. Joining me, of course, is our regular Arrow After Show cast. Sitting to my immediate right, of course, is Kaori. Kaori, how are you doing?
I'm good, and I have a special guest, Wakame, but you don't have to see her.
Oh, yeah, she's on your lap. She's got a dog on her lap right now. And, of course, beside her is Anne.
What's up, my fellow archers?
And so here we are. We're talking about the new Arrow episode tonight. We're going to get into the positives, then we're going to talk about the negatives, and then what we're going to do is just take some time to answer the questions that you guys sent to us on Twitter. And you can send tweets to us anytime using the hashtag ArrowAfterShow. So, Anne, let's start with you. What are some of the things that you liked about tonight's episode of Arrow?
First of all, I'm still trying to get used to the fact that we each have our own camera.
Oh, yeah.
During this time.
We expanded our camera shots.
Typically, I'm over here, trying to share the microphone with Kaori or in the shot with her. So it feels weird that my team of Asian is not in the same shot. Anyways, positives for this episode. I'm a bitch with Wi-Fi. That was my favorite line of the episode. I love Felicity. I love Diggle. And this was all about Felicity and Diggle and the Arrow Trinity that we have grown to love. And they even called it out in this episode, which I think even Corey reacted when Oliver said, no, it should just be us three.
I loved it when he said this started with the three of us. It's time we got back to that.
Yes.
And it's like, how long have we been saying that? We have been saying that for all season. It's like, man, when are they going to get back to the tree? When are they going to get back to the three of them? And there they are. So that's pretty cool.
And I just have this gut feeling that season 3, we're going to be back in the swing of Diggle, Felicity, and Oliver, and just the trio again doing their thing. So I love that Felicity and Diggle pretty much led the episode, and they have always been Oliver's conscience. So I'm glad that they played a big role in getting him out of his funk. Sad that they didn't spend a little more time on Moira's funeral. I know that's a little morbid, but I love Moira so much, so you can understand why. I would have loved to seen a little bit more emphasis on that, but I did like the kind of juxtaposition they did with Sebastian Blood becoming mayor and then her funeral kind of playing alongside it.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. There's a lot.
Yeah, there is.
But I would say at least highlights, those were the majors.
For me, remembering that Argus exists, that's kind of nice that they went back and got Amanda involved. For me, the highlight of the episode for me this week was, of course, that line. This started with the three of us. It's time we got back to that. Because I think I yelled something out when we were watching the show, and he said that. I'm like, the hell, right? That's exactly what we've been saying. Should be doing that all along. So that was really good. I like that they started the episode with the funeral. I think that was a nice touch, and not just it's 2 weeks later and everybody's gotten over it and everybody's starting to move on. I like the fact that they started there. I'm not sure. I'm not going to list this under my negatives, but I'm not sure how I feel about, how convenient. He's had a Site B all along. That seemed a little convenient now that he's losing the club. But
you're right. I have a feeling that was never in the plans before. But now that I think that they're going in the direction in season 3 where he's a little bit broke, that's probably get used to seeing that layer, because that's probably where we'll see them in season 3.
And then this is going to be interesting to say, but a good showrunner, a good show, a good story knows when to take a breath. And I felt, it's funny because the people on the East Coast watched this show before we did tonight. And I got some tweets from some people saying, this was a lackluster episode. I gotta disagree. To me, it felt like, look, you've had a lot of really intense stuff going on in Arrow up until now, and at some point, as a storyteller, you need to, with your audience, just take half a step back and take a breath. And I felt like for a lot of this episode was, look, we just had this huge climactic scene with Moira dying, right? And now to pick up and now have action. And really, a lot of really cool things did happen in this episode, right?
And there's still some action.
He finds out Brother Blood is actually Sebastian. He puts that together. The army of the Miraku dudes is rising up. We get to see Ravenger, or whatever, how you pronounce her name?
Ravager.
How do you say it?
Ravager.
Anyway, so we got to see her, although her forehead looked kind of weird. So there were
big ass ponytail.
There were a number of highlights to the show, but I actually think you needed this episode to not be highlight heavy. I think they needed to take a breath without becoming boring, and I felt like they did that. And to me, it really felt nice. It felt really good. Like I'll go into my negatives in a minute. Corey,
okay,
your positives.
There's a lot of positives in this episode. I know that the funeral part was very short, but I felt like this whole entire episode was a mourning period. The whole entire hour, including seeing the loss of the Queen family, the Queen Consolidated. It was good to see Walter come back.
Really good to see Walter come back.
The Trinity back together.
You should keep your mic right in front of your mouth.
I get too excited. Okay, the Trinity back together. And Laurel is so much better this second half of the season than this first half, because I'm not a Laurel fan, and if you guys have been following me, she's not my favorite character, but what she has been doing with the knowledge and the suspicions, she's been handling it really well, smoothly with her dad, who I kind of feel that if her dad's a detective, he's not a detective anymore, but he should have known a little more than he does. Yeah. But that's a little hole right there. But yeah, I really like Laurel's role and where it's going, and just whole episode in general. I thought it was a good morning episode, and Oliver really broken. It was a really solid one.
Wakame is going to see it.
She has something to say. What do you think, Wakame?
I like Arrow. One of the things I'm glad that you brought up there too, when talking about the Laurel situation. They've been improving the Laurel character. They have been improving the Laurel character, and I like that she seems to be, we said this a few weeks ago, it seems like she's starting to find, or the showrunners feel like they're finding her place in the show. And that really kind of culminated tonight, too, with the episode, which I thought was really cool. A dog with allergies. Okay, well, what about some of the negatives? What about some of the negatives of this episode? Anne, let's start with you.
I believe for me, the ending of the episode was a little anticlimactic for me. I know they're going to pick it up in the next episode with the Deathstroke's army walking through the city and doing what they need to do. But I felt like, of course, we never get enough Arrow, that this coupled probably with the next episode would make the perfect watch in one sitting, if that makes sense.
Right.
So that was one of my negatives. I don't like that we didn't get to see enough of what's going to happen with Ravager and Diggle, and that's just me being selfish, because I know, again, that's probably going to pick up in the next episode as well. Gosh, that's a hard one. I like the tone, like you're saying, John. I mean, at first I was thinking, there's not a lot that happened in this episode, but I do have to agree. I think it was the perfect time to do that now, because in the next 2 or 3 or how many episodes we have left, you're going to be holding your breath the whole time. So I'm thankful for this little reprieve.
It feels like they're kind of gearing up now for the final big push.
Right.
So, I mean, like I said before, I wasn't thrilled with the look of Summer Glau. Here, I'll bring up the picture here. Something really weird about her head. I mean, if everybody else is wearing one type of Deathstroke mask, why is she wearing something so dumb?
But if you look at what I think she looks like, not identical, but she looks very similar to what Ravager looks like in the comic book.
Yes.
So if they were going for that look, then I don't necessarily disagree with the look that they gave her.
I think there must have been a way to make it look like the head isn't so big.
Yeah, it looked like a skull, and
I don't know that you could fix somebody's actual forehead.
It's like a mullet.
She doesn't have that kind of a forehead. I just think that the mask she's wearing. Because none of the other Deathstrokes, their masks make their head look gigantic.
I love Summer Glau, but she kind of does have that forehead, though.
Yeah,
I don't see that.
I kind of think it's just
Come on.
I don't know. Maybe in the comics, she kind of does look like. I think it's because she's covering more of her hair back here too.
I do agree with you. That was one of my negatives. Was I wasn't digging the outfit as much as I was hoping I would. And another negative is how it ended. I do not like ending
It
on
felt
this
like a
cliffhanger.
very disjointed ending. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, stuff, arrow symbol, end.
Yeah.
And then the
what?
army itself, to me, what'd you guys think? The army itself that was walking over the bridge would not have scared me. If it was just the way they walked and they kind of walked sloppily, but I felt like if they're going to walk like an army, walk like an army, you know? And it just felt like some kids wearing masks.
Would it
Sorry.
have been better if one of them was carrying a ghetto blaster playing Michael Jackson's Bad?
Maybe. And they started breakdancing. Yes.
One in the middle is wearing like a red leather jacket.
And what about how easily accessible Argus is?
Yeah, just walk on in. I'm going to, hey, Argus.
I know Diggle's been there before, but I feel like there should have been some more security before they actually showed up and walked in.
Maybe
Amanda
there was, we
Waller's
just didn't
office.
see it.
Yes,
I'm
assuming
I'm
that.
sure they probably.
Now I'm just nitpicking, so I apologize.
All right, well, those are our positives and negatives, but it's time for us to go to the Twitter stream and find out what you guys are saying about tonight's episode and the questions that you guys want to bring up, and we'll discuss those for a few minutes. So Anne has got the Twitter stream open. Remember, guys, you can just tweet us anytime. We're always looking. Tweet us using the hashtag ArrowAfterShow. So that's how you can get a hold of us there. So Anne, what's in the Twitter stream?
Okay, guys, we got Kyle Romano who asks, where is this season going to end and where will it pick back up?
I literally just read an article with what's it, Paul Blackthorne? Is that his name? Officer Lance, who kind of gave quote unquote spoiler that it's going to end with Arrow building an alliance with the cops. So that's going to be interesting how that works out. I'm not quite sure. And of course, I think Merlin's ready for his comeback.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he's supposed to
coming
come back
next
any day
episode.
now, right?
I think next week.
Is he going to be helping Oliver because of the death of Moira, or protecting, protecting Thea?
I would
or?
think so. I couldn't see him being on the other side of things. He wouldn't have no motivation to be on Slade's side.
Except Slade put his daughter at risk. Remember, that's Thea's his daughter.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I
And
think he will.
Slade smashed her car, kidnapped her
totally.
once already. I could see there being some issues there
Yes.
that maybe Merlin is a little pissed off at.
Oh, yeah. I totally see that. I was thinking, no, I wouldn't see him fighting with Slade
Oh,
against
okay, okay.
Oliver,
Right,
is what I
right.
meant. But yeah, Daddy Merlin's not going to be happy. I want to see
Daddy Merlin.
the interaction with Thea and her father because we haven't seen that yet. That's going to be
agree.
great, too. We still haven't seen that interaction.
I have a feeling we may not see that.
Really?
Not this season. I have they might hold off on that because I have a feeling Thea may be gone now until season 3. That scene of her turning out the lights and then walking out of the house that felt like a season finale moment, and I think it was for her. Maybe it was for her character. I don't know. What do you think?
I would love to know where is she going, because she doesn't have the bar, she doesn't have the home, she clearly doesn't want to have the association with her brother or Walter. So where is she heading? She doesn't have Colton Haynes either.
I think she's actually heading to wherever Roy is, because before she walked out the door, she looked at her phone, and on her phone still is a picture of her and Roy, and I thought that was a glimpse as to where she might end up.
Isn't Roy still kind of lab ratty right now?
Yeah, Roy's still laying on a table.
Yeah.
Where?
He was on the table in this episode.
Yeah, and they're saying that we're running out of the so and so venom. We're
Oh, so he was in the foundry
and that's
the whole
why
time?
that's why they're working on the cure and everything. I
Yeah.
think so.
I guess I
think
don't
so.
care that much about him, but I have to disagree. I think all those characters are coming back. I don't think we're not going to see Thea by the end of this. I think we'll see Thea. I think we'll see Sarah. I think we'll see Amanda. I think we'll see everybody we have met this season in the season finale.
All right, what's up?
Okay. Nicholas J asked, do you think the Suicide Squad will help fight the Deathstroke army?
No, I don't. I think we've seen the last of them, but it would be a pleasant surprise if they do come in. If Amanda Waller decides to pull them into this conflict, I'd like it. I think that'd be pretty cool. I don't think that's what they're going to do, but that would be cool. What do you guys think?
I don't know. I think they had their hands full with all these characters already and where they're going to place them. But that just reminded me of how much I loved Felicity completely nerding out over all this.
Over the gear.
Yeah,
That was really cool.
that was cute.
That was really
so
fun.
cute. So
Anne,
Okay.
what do you think?
No, I don't think so. I think they'll be around, but probably for something else.
Okay, what's next?
All right, so Chris Casey asked, do you think Star Labs was calling about the cure or Barry waking up?
Oh, I completely forgot about that.
The Cure.
I thought The Cure.
I thought The Cure.
Mm-hmm.
I thought The Cure, but maybe something about maybe it even was Barry. That's possible. I mean,
calling her?
Yeah,
That would
maybe
be
it was
cool.
Barry.
I mean, she did mention at the beginning, looking at Roy. Now I remember Roy being there, but looking at Roy reminds me of Barry
Yeah.
Yep.
being in a coma. So that would be pretty cool, actually.
Okay, what's next?
All right. So Smoke and Arrow asks, I'm DC Comics illiterate. Was Felicity's backstory info a hint at who her father/mom are in the canon?
Honestly, when we start talking about Vegas and she was a cocktail girl or
waitress.
something in Vegas,
Going to college.
I honestly, nothing rang a bell with me. Now, maybe there's somebody out there who's far more knowledgeable about these particular characters and what that might be referencing to, or maybe it's just something they made up for her. I don't know. And you got
raising my hand because Felicity Smoke is not an she's a character. She's not a character in the Green Arrow comics. She's actually in a character, and I can't even remember what the comic's called. Firestorm. I can't remember. She's just a side character in one issue of another comic book, I believe. So whatever they talk about with Felicity, unless they're going to make her into a DC comic character, right now Felicity Smoke in the comics does not have a backstory like what they're telling.
Right. But maybe the backstory could be a clue as to something bigger for Felicity. You know what I mean?
Would think so.
That might
Most
be in
definitely.
the comics. So
A lot of our fans are speculating that Felicity actually might be related to Slade. I think that they were.
that's been a theory that's been batting around
Slade
a lot.
or Ivo.
Yep, Slade or Ivo.
Oh, Ivo, yeah.
All right. So Chris, did I already ask him from? Okay. I'll skip Chris because he already got a question in. B-Man asks, could we ever see a version of Hawkman in Arrow since the possibilities of him being on the big screen are minimal?
They did a really bad Hawkman in Smallville, which is too bad because I can't remember the name of the actor. The name of the actor was from Stargate SG-1 who played Hawkman for a couple of episodes in Smallville. And I really like him, but it was a bad rendition of the character. I don't think they're ready to go to Aliens. I don't think Arrow is ready to go to Aliens yet. So I'm going to guess no. Do you guys think any different?
I don't think that's going to happen. And if it does, it will happen way later down the road. They have a lot to deal with right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I completely agree.
Okay.
And speaking of when we saw the panel at WonderCon, Andrew and Mark talked about how oftentimes it's just a character that they happen to really like, or somebody in the company or somebody writing the episode happens
And by
to
the way,
really
when she says Andrew and Mark, she's talking about the showrunners of Arrow.
Yeah. And that's how actually they brought about Flash, was just a weird organic way. It wasn't that they planned, for example, for Hawkeye or whoever to be in
Hawkeye?
I forgot who he asked about. but
Hawkman
to be in the show, but sometimes it just comes about that way.
Now, Hawkeye showing up in Arrow would
That
be
would be
very
bizarre.
interesting. That would be very interesting. Okay, let's take a couple more.
Okay, so going back to the other question, Felicity Smoke existed in Firestorm Volume 2, Issue 23. That's it.
Okay, there you go.
Okay. Christian Christ John asked, now that everyone seems to know Oliver's secret, do you think he will finally tell Thea?
Once again, I think Thea's gone for the rest of the season. I don't think we're going to see her for the rest of the season. I think she'll be back, but I don't think she'll be back for this season. So I have to stay consistent with that and say my guess is no. But I will say this. If Thea does come back, if Anne's right and she does come back, yeah, I think he's probably going to figure it's time to let her know there have been too many secrets. So what do you guys think?
I think she is going to come back before the season's end. But no, I do not think she is going to find out, which is kind of tragic because she's the only one that's been kind of blocked out of all the truth, and everything but the truth has been in her knowledge. But yeah, I don't think he's going to tell her. She's kind of bratty anyway right now. So
Yeah.
she doesn't know.
I know. I wonder how she would take it.
I know she's been dealing with a lot.
Scared.
Yeah.
It might be too much right now.
All right, let's take one last question.
Okay, so Tom Snow asks, how do you think Officer Lance will get out of the situation he is in at the police station?
Yeah, that's right. The episode does end with a several sticky predicaments going on, including Officer Lance being in the police station.
Yeah.
I think he's going to do something heroic. I think Officer Lance is going to save the day in this one, which they haven't let him do enough of. For a cop, they haven't let him save the day very much in this show. I think somehow, some way, he will figure out something to subdue this dude. So that's what I think. What do you guys think?
I think he did kind of help save Laurel from beating Oliver up when she found out that Oliver was Arrow. In a way, he calmed her down. So he has that kind of role to tame his little Laurel. But I don't know how they're going to fix that. But judging from what he was kind of spoiling, I'm guessing that it's going to happen by the end of the season, and he's going to be freed from all his whatever bad stuff that they framed him for, whatever.
Anne?
I think he's a little bit knocked out right now. So somebody come help him, please. I don't know how, but he will get out of it. I just have no idea.
You think Sarah could come back?
Yeah, that's a great possibility.
Could Canary
actually,
come back?
Yeah, somebody needs to come save him. I just don't see how he can take on a Mirakuru hyped up dude.
He finds a bazooka. It's in the police station.
And how fitting is it that Oliver's exploding arrows happen to be the only type of thing that's stopping these guys from moving?
Yeah,
I totally forgot about that. But
I have a hashtag Arrow After Show question.
Sure.
How do you think Oliver will take down Sebastian Blood? And if he does, do you think he will by the end of the season?
Sebastian has Mirakuru in him, right?
No,
he doesn't.
I do not believe he does. No.
Oh, should be easy then.
Should be easy.
Yeah,
right?
that won't be much of a fight.
He is the mayor though, so it has to be in a way where he doesn't get blamed because he just killed the mayor.
He's got to have some theatrical death though.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I think Slade's going to kill him.
Yeah. Ooh.
I think Slade's going to kill
for messing
Blood.
up or something.
But I mean, we heard Oliver talking to look, Oliver. If you really think Slade is going to let you turn this city around, you really think you are just a pawn. He is using you. And even that very ominous phone call that Slade gave Blood in the episode, I think Slade kills Sebastian Blood.
I like that theory, Mr. Campea.
Or do you think Sebastian will last to season 3?
I don't think he'll last to season 3.
Poor guy. Sorry.
Sorry.
Not poor guy, actually, but
he's a jerk. All right, guys, that will do it for us. Thanks for watching and joining and being fans of Arrow with us. We will be back again next week for Arrow After Show. Make sure you join us again. Make sure you keep tweeting to us using the hashtag Arrow After Show or reaching out to us on our various social media networks. That would be awesome. Listen, this show deserves our support, so become an Arrow evangelist and make sure everybody you know knows about Arrow. Tell them to hop on Netflix and start catching up on the show. It's they can be caught up before we get to the season finale, for heaven's sakes. All right, so I want to thank, first of all, those joining me. Sitting to my right, first of all, of course, is Kaori. Kaori, where can people find you online?
You can find me and Walkme at KAORIOUS on Twitter as well as Instagram. And real quick, Ann and I do some Team Amazing stuff. Speak Nerdy to Me. Every week we talk about our favorite geek stuff. We've got so much news coming up this week, so stay tuned.
And of course, beside her is Ann.
You could follow me at Ann Campea. You could follow both of us at Team Amazing. And keep tweeting us these questions. I'm looking at them like I wish we had 2 more hours or 3 because there's so many good questions. You guys are awesome.
And you can follow me on the various social media channels right there at John Campea. That's at Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. And, of course, you can find my other stuff at AMC Theaters, where I'm talking movies every single day. So you can go on YouTube, find AMC Theaters channel, and subscribe to us there. So that'll do it for us, guys. We will be back again next week. Thanks again for joining us. So until next time, bye-bye.